5-0. That's, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's all about how you're playing today.
They're here to win.
Okay.
Amayze opening up with the damage lead for herself. Has the lance in hand. And we didn't actually get to see a lot of lance last time we saw it, but now we're seeing it, and it's looking good. The end light into the side air is going to be even more damage rack up, but Doggo clapping back with his own damage.
Well, getting to see a little bit more lance action. When we saw the Orion earlier today, they generally leaned into the spear. That was Vey, but now we're seeing Amayze come in with the lance, and it's over to the bow, something that you were looking forward to see.
Now that caught the dodge. She pushes forward for that side air. That's beautiful on the follow-up there. Down light from Scythe is going to be the option. You get the recovery there. He's going to send him off to the right.
You're going for the read there. One the recovery. Punish opportunity. It's going to be a side sig.
Nice side sig. There's no jumps there, and there's no dodge. That weapon throw is going to confirm that stock beautifully. Amayze loses her first stock, and Doggo sitting comfortably with the orb in hand. I think he's going to opt out to keep it. Yep. Punishes that. That's the dodge gone. Don't waste your dodge against orb. It's a combo weapon, but it's a string weapon. We already had this conversation.
Yeah, just running that conversation back. But Doggo getting so much off of that burn dodge. Amayze hoping to catch Doggo off guard because Doggo is in the red, but Amayze is taking damage. There it is, the side air.
Bow in hand. Orb is going to be immediately picked up for Doggo. No weapon starve coming through, so that bow is a pretty good weapon to weapon starve with. It has a lot of stack options and a lot of punishes to jumps, which a lot of players unarmed, they're going to be jumping in the air. It's not safe to stay on the ground with limited hitboxes like that. But no weapon starve is going to come through, and Doggo is already adding on that damage that he started with a pretty good lead for.
And we're seeing Amayze make the swap over to the lance, hoping that'll work out, but Doggo sees the spot dodge, sees the punish opportunity, and N-Sig comes out, and Doggo's got a massive lead now.
These Fate signatures come out of nowhere, and they're so scary. Any single one you get hit with. We haven't even seen the down stick come out, so he could surprise us any time with it. Like,
yeah, it comes out quick, and especially like you have the active input on it too, right? Like you can throw it forward, throw it up, so you can kind of really pick and choose how you want to use it.
Well, we mentioned Turtles in the hair. This is looking like Turtles. They're kind of feeling each other out a lot in this set. The side sig is going to come through, and that was a beautiful side sig. I really like that sig as well. We mentioned the land sigs, but we didn't even get a chance to talk about the bow sigs. Very high option coverage from the entire bow kit of Vector.
Yeah, you got that similar kind of story that we're talking about with Orion, where you've got that kind of stacked option that covers both sides with the down sig, and then you got the great reach with that side sig.
And then even taking a book from the Koji there, they have the end sig that kind of starts diagonal but ends up going upwards, so a bit different from the Koji one, but also just very dangerous. That force on it is pretty good. Yeah, they're even on the stocks here, and you can see feeling each other out. They're trying to wait for an option that comes to them. The sidelight Sair is going to take Amayze to the left, and Doggo has the map state now.
Good falling side air coming out from Amayze. Keeping this one close, still doable on either side. Amayze maybe thinking about the weapon swap. Yep, over to the lance. Gets in there, goes for the recovery.
Sidelight side air is going to send to the left.
Lots of movement. Doggo just dancing on the stage. Good weapon toss. You heard the N-Sig coming out.
Side air sends again. He's looking for this KO here, and he keeps jittering right, going for it. Side air. Both players just opting for these side airs over and over again. Downlight recovery's finally going to close that game off, and Amayze takes game one.
That was actually crazy. That lance toss, just that simple action, forced out a dodge from Doggo. Doggo thought more was coming, so he spot dodges it, and Amayze backs up, picks up the bow, and gets a safe downlight recovery because there was nothing for Doggo to do.
Beautiful option creation with that weapon throw there, like you mentioned. And when you spot dodge like that, any good player is going to be coming forward to punish you because the spot dodge, it leaves you stationary. You're not moving very much after that.
It's got, especially like the air one, it's got the longest dodge frames, so you're locked in there the longest.
Yeah, you're there for a while, and it doesn't help that I just noticed he also didn't have any jumps left. The sweat beats came out, so he was going to land in that spot, and Amayze just picked the perfect punish for it. Down air and light, beautiful damage from the lance.
Yeah, game number 2, Amayze opportunity here to, I think, get the upset, considering that set count is definitely in favor of Doggo.
Another end light coming out of Amayze.
Going for the dairy, didn't quite connect, but getting great damage built up on the Doggo.
And lance is definitely a weapon where it's a lot of hit or miss for a lot of players, right? A lot of players, they like it, and a lot of players, they don't. But Amayze is looking really solid on it here so far. that's multiple times now that we've seen her open up with that Lance and then switch to the bow to finally get the KO off. Lance not the best at KOing, I feel like, especially with the side light not going into anything consistent. A lot of these weapons, they have that consistent kill option.
Nice weapon toss.
Beautiful weapon toss there. That bow has that downlight recovery. The sword we've seen, the hammer we've seen. The Lance, not so much. Sidelight recovery works, but they have to have no dodge for it. So you're seeing her switch to this bow to rack up damage. That's the end state I was talking about. Looks so good when it's put to use.
Good. Especially because it catches a lot of like inward movement, right? Like if you dodge down, if you dodge in, you get caught out.
Even in that use there, we saw Doggo was not actually in the initial startup for the end stick and moved into it where I got to the tip of it. So that was just perfect use there. Nice wake up to catch the double side light.
Did he know? He just immediately ground pounds as Amayze goes for the side stick and goes underneath him. But Doggo able to even up the stock count.
You mentioning did he know is actually really interesting because we haven't seen the double side light yet. So he just knew it was that time. It was coming finally. More Lance damage coming up. She goes for the ground pound and is not going to make it through the platform even.
Chasing outward. A little bit of a risky play there. Doggo able to get back up safely.
Doggo doing a pretty good job of not losing the stock here. He wants to get as much damage as he can, even if he's going to fall pretty soon, because Amayze built up a lot of extra credit on that last stock.
No, but still, Doggo's finding those hits, bringing this one back. Neutralite is not going to KO. Weapon toss doesn't hit either. Amayze struggling to finish the stock.
Down sig, no one was in sight for that. The recovery's finally going to take that stock off. Amayze was looking really healthy and all of a sudden is not.
Yeah, but she's back to that Lance. That's what built up a lot of damage on the initial stock, and considering this is extra credit opportunity, that's what she wants.
There it is again. We're seeing the end lights come out. We saw two there before Doggo flinged her backwards with that Scythe there. And there it is again. The Sire is going to be a follow-up this time.
Lots of horizontal movement. But, yep.
GC down like catches that and actually gets the KO off. We were thinking she was going to run out of options there, but she actually just gets straight KO.
I like, she went for the just the quick burst on the recovery. Like, you can hold that and charge it up and get a lot of distance, but it also makes it really obvious where you're about to go.
Yeah, they just get to line up for you and say, all right, you made it this far, but now you got to go. Doggo, with these Scythe Nairs, has been turning them every single time.
Yeah, you got to be careful about Doggo on that wall, because he is 100% looking for those Nairs on the corner.
Scythe still in hand. That was a beautiful bow there. Amayze kind of moving around. You can see her using the platform to her advantage. The Nair is going to come through, and now she's just looking for these KO options.
Yeah. Has Doggo in the red. A downlight recovery would be good, but Doggo's doing a good job of not keeping his feet on the ground, staying just above it.
Ooh, clean end light, but it's met back immediately with some solid Scythe gameplay.
Turn around.
The edge guard's going to get reversed. The Cider's going to come through,
Ooh,
and there's no options left.
Ooh. Amayze able to avoid that neutral air. You saw like the weapon toss didn't hit, and Amayze, I was worried for a second there because there's opportunity, but Doggo went for the Nair, which doesn't give you the same drift as if he just held left, and unfortunately just couldn't get that wall touch. Amayze up 2-0.
Now Amayze's movement has been looking really solid throughout this set, especially around these platforms. Now, Mammoth only has one platform, and it does stay stationary at certain points in the game. Every single time it stays stationary so far, you can see Amayze going for these dashes around the platforms, and Doggo must have noticed that too, because we're not there anymore. Demon Island, bit darker theme going for it, but same colors on the characters and same characters on the players.
Of course, they gotta play their mains, and right now Amayze one game away from shutting Doggo out. Doggo looking for an orb. He threw away the Scythe. There's the weapon spawn, but Amayze gonna deny. No, Doggo picks up the orb.
Amayze looking for a weapon here. Doesn't want to commit to too much without it, but Doggo on that starvation game. Nair into the side air is going to add up a bit more damage onto Amaze's stock. Bow side air comes through. Sidelight side air is going to be the punish. Oh. Sidelight.
Great
Nair recovery. That was a great read on the dodge in. He knew Amayze had to dodge in there to get back to the map and took full advantage of it. The side stick's going to finally take that stock off.
A huge lead for Doggo. Got that sidelight Nair recovery, got the side stick to finish it, and now Amayze playing from behind. No weapon spawns for a while, and it fortunately spawns on her side of the field.
Now, Doggo is actually down 2-0 here on the elimination bracket, so this could be a very volatile game for him. This could be a turning point that he needs to take it as far as it can go, right? Because, like you mentioned, this is one of the players that is looking for that win.
He wants that flight, of course, to the mid-season, but Amayze gonna send him on a flight over to the left side KO box, and has full weapon control, going to stick with the bow.
Opting into the bow here, we saw a lot of work get done. The side lights, there's the side light to the end light. Doesn't find much more than that, but she does have the full control of the stage.
She's got a lot of stage to work with, but at the same time, they're sitting on that left side corner. Doggo comes in, has the scythe. Good positioning from Doggo, actually outspacing a lot of these attacks from Amayze.
Both just kind of whiffing here that Dare's going to get punished by the neutral air. And you can see she goes for that end light to cover the landing. Doesn't quite work. Switches on the other side and gets hit by the orb side light.
So the swap up, immediate pickup down air from Amayze on a different bow. Side light doesn't go for the immediate down light. Not able to get the dodge read though.
Down light there is pretty solid. The damage built up is looking good. She's just looking for that KO now. Like I've already mentioned, when you get into red, every single player is just looking for that KO. The down air is going to set her up for that weapon throw. The weapon throw is very important there because it lines up perfectly for that GC side light KO.
Yeah, just forcing out all the options of Doggo to the point where Doggo just has to line up for it. And a great finisher from Amayze. Now she's on point. She's one stock away from continuing on and knocking one of the competitors out of the bracket.
Doggo actually opened this game up with a lead, so seeing Amayze bring it back this hard is just very telling of how strong she is as a player. And sturdy on that bow. She's been on the bow the entire game, basically.
Yeah, her bow has been leveling up game after game. We saw in the last one, 326 damage put out. This time, she's putting up even more as Doggo gets the side light side air. Last stock for each of them.
I just noticed how damaged that stock was. That was like, I'm looking at Doggo's red, and I was looking at the red of that stock. Those were not the same reds, I'll tell you that.
Definitely a lot of red was put up, but Doggo needs to put Amayze into the red. Another side air. Doggo's in trouble.
Are we going to see the down sig finally come out?
No sigs actually thrown out from Amayze in a while. It's the early
celebration with the motorcycle. That's not going to be it, though. Doggo fights his way back to the stage. The side air is going to be the option he picks, but it's not a lot. He needs one of these big strings that the orb brings out. Down sig.
Doggo cannot afford to get hit. At this point, it's it. Amayze gets it 3-0, gets the upset, and will continue on in the bracket. We've got Doggo eliminated.
Amayze looking very clean on that vector pick. We didn't see a lot of signatures like you mentioned. Were you lying to me, Duke?
Well, you know what? Sometimes you tell the story early. It's called foreshadowing.
Oh.
And then we get to see it later.
We're going to see it later, then.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we got more time for Amayze because she's still in.
Yep. That is going to be the elimination of Doggo, though.
Yes.
Elimination on the bracket means when you lose, you are out on the upper side. You still have a lot of chances to go. But there's only one person left on that upper side, and they're fighting to go meet them.
Yes. Kyler Alice still sitting in the grand finals, guaranteed a top 2 finish. I do believe that means Doggo has a 4th place finish. Amayze now going into the fight, guaranteed top 3 finish. Whoever wins here, like you were saying, between Dummy and Amayze, goes on to fight Kyler Alice in the grand finals.
Dummy and Amayze, like you mentioned, high P.